This book, as I've mentioned, has very detailed accounts of Secretary Rumsfeld's encounters with all sorts of public figures, world leaders, people in very influential and important positions. But maybe one of the most intriguing is your encounter with Elvis. Why don't you tell us about that?
Oh my goodness, Elvis Presley. A lot of his songs were really not my thing.
Now, why does that not surprise me?
But on any given Sunday today, if Joyce and I can't get to church, we have some Elvis Presley tapes singing gospel, and they are wonderful. And we play them Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. Now, how did all this happen? When I was running the so-called War on Poverty, Sammy Davis Jr. was on the advisory board. And he cared about the country and he cared about the poor. I was out in Las Vegas giving a speech, and it happened to coincide with his 100th performance at one of those casinos, the Sands or something. And so we went to see his show. And he and his wife, ElvlS, were there, and he performed, and he was spectacular. I mean, it wasn't an accident they called Sammy Davis Jr. the world's greatest entertainer. He just was a superb entertainer. And he said to Joyce and me, the next night I'm off, I'm going to take you to see the best entertainer in Las Vegas. And he didn't tell us who it was. So the next night we went, and he went to another casino, and we went in, and he got a dinner table. Needless to say, it was right up front. If you're Sammy Davis in Las Vegas, you get a good table. And the four of us sat down, and it was Elvis Presley's. And Sammy believed that Elvis was the best performer in town. And he was in his later years, and he was large. And he was wearing a sequin jumpsuit. And he
not quite the uniform in the Nixon White House.
No. And of course, I'd never seen the man, and I'd never heard the man. And he had these, what color is it, chartreuse? Red, pink, scarlet. He had scarlet scarves, and he would wipe his face. He'd stand up there and sing. And it was fantastic. He'd sing the most ridiculous thing in the world, and people would cheer and yell and love it. And I'd sit there and go like this. Oh, my God. Then he would sing a ballad, and it was absolutely beautiful. I mean, this man had a voice that was spectacular. And I love country music, and I love ballads, and he would sing, and it would just, you'd be carried away with it. Then he'd take the scarf, wipe his face, the sweat off, and throw it out in the crowd, and everyone would scream. So he threw one to Elvis Davis, and Elvis gave it to Joyce, and it's framed. But what happened was, afterwards, Sammy said to Joyce and me, come on, we're going to go back into the dressing room. Well, now, you know, I'm not the type who hangs around Las Vegas dressing rooms. And you go into this place, and it's large, and here are all these people. Sammy is getting dressed, and he's walking around, and all of the showgirls are there, and there are very attractive women with trays selling cigarettes and selling Western jewelry and turquoise and what have you, and all the hangers-ons and the staffs and everyone, and they're all milling around, and Joyce gets carried away, and she's talking to somebody, and she couldn't find me. And she finally looked around the room, and way off in the corner, Elvis Presley had me cornered. I was against the corner, and he's big, and he was like this, and I was kind of hidden right behind him. He was talking about the United States Army. If you remember, there was a draft during that period, and some of the people did not go in the draft. They went to Canada, or they refused, and he went in and served in the United States Army, and he served in Germany, and he wanted to talk about it. He loved the Army, he valued his time serving, and he was sitting there going back and forth with me about this and that and the other thing, and I just found it fascinating that here was this man who a minute ago had been up there wiping the sweat off his face and throwing these things, and everyone screaming, and here were all these gorgeous women walking around this dressing room, and he was standing there asking me question after question about the United States Army. It says a lot for the man.
Production 1850, 2009, take one.
The shooting stars are coming out of your eyes. I want to wait to paradise. I got a feeling.
Production 1850, 2009, take two.
The shooting stars are coming out of your eyes. I want to wait to paradise. I got a funny feeling. I can't be wrong. It won't be long until the sparks will fly. It won't be long. I hear a buzzing round in my brain. Know what it does? It's about to drive me insane. And at a time like this, I must be strong. It won't be long until the sky falls down. It won't be long. Love has taught me plenty. I'm still learning more. Anything worth having is worth the waiting for. Here I go, I'm on a one-way trip. Look out below, 'cause I'm about to flip. I tell you, when these lips get to that kiss, it won't be long until we're out of this world. It won't be long. Love has taught me plenty, and I'm still learning more. Anything worth having is worth the waiting for. Here I go, I'm on a one-way trip. Look out below, 'cause I'm about to flip. I tell you, when these lips get to that kiss, it won't be long until we're out of this world. It won't be